I'm back underneath here. I just pulled my belt out here. I'm going to stretch it toward the pulley under the engine. Diversity tool. Some of this video is dedicated to Mr. Steve Israel, who had a few questions here and wanted me to give some more detail dealing with this tractor here, and I tried to slow it down some and won't be able to explain all the parts and everything, but give some more detail how these belts were replaced, or this belt was replaced. And I also got a comment that I did not have to move the deck to do this, but at the time this was being done, we were pressed for time, and the manager was pressed for time, and I seen that he needed help. And I was doing another job, and this came up. So this mower was brand new. He was prepared to call the company. They would have came and got it and took it to get the belt replaced. But we were so pressed for time, and I seen the frustration on his face. I told him, let me see if I can get the new belt back on. This one got broke because somebody wasn't paying attention and they hit something sharp. I mean, brand new mower, brand new belt, and the belt popped off, or actually split in half. And I didn't have time to actually sit down and read all the instructions on how to remove this belt. Just by examining it, and that's one of the reasons I removed the deck, so I can see where the pulleys were located, get a better idea of how to reattach the new belt. And so I began to do that. And I knew I had to find a way to get this more jacked up, so I used 4x4 blocks to put it under. And I finally got the more backed off of the deck, and the deck I was able to slide out from going one side to the next to get it out. And once I got it out, I began to look at the pulleys and look at some of the instructions, and to get a general idea of how this belt winds through these pulleys and how to get it on there. You couldn't just set it on there. Something had to be moved, something had to be shifted in order for this belt to be on. And once I saw that, I was ready to go. That day we were trying to meet a deadline. He was going to open up a sports complex, and had a certain amount of time to get all the equipment in, and we got the batting cage in, and getting the flooring down, the matting down, and getting all the stencils painted on the turf. now I had to connect it to the main pulley that was under the mower coming from the motor. So as I slid the deck back under the mower, then I had to connect the pulley, connect the belt to this main pulley once I got everything back and got the deck locked down back on the mower. And there were several places where the deck connected to the suspension to hold it in place. It was just a bunch of nuts and bolts and washers and rubber washers and some aluminum pins. And once you got all the pins back, the nuts back, and the rubber washers back, the deck was fine. Now I needed to connect it to the main pulley coming from the engine. And that's what I did here. So I'm going to just let the music play and let you watch Mr. Steve. And hopefully this video here will give you a better idea or more clear idea of what I did that day. The manager had left and came back, and I had everything connected, and he was so thankful and happy. He didn't have to waste time for the company to come in, pick the mower up, go and fix it, and tell him how long they were going to take before they brought it back. And he got his grass cut and everything was back in order. So I virtually told this is part 2 on me placing this belt on this mower. And that day we were